Hey, how's it going?
Hi, everything is going well here. Good night, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm sorry we started a little bit late than our estimated time because we have some technical issues that we just handled it right now. So we all back with our AMA today. I would love to say a greeting to my Hobbit family today, and it's an honor to see you all again in a space Twitter meeting between Hotbit and Kaspa. And of course, I'm Hani, right? You guys getting used to me. And from Kaspa side, we have Little Wolfie, Kaspa business developer. Hi, Wolfie. Can you please introduce a bit about yourself to our community?
Yeah, hey there. Thanks for the intro. And yeah, we know technology can, when it works great. And when it doesn't work at all. It can be
Wow.
really ratty. Yep. Yeah. So Honey, that's a very sweet name, a very nice name. And thanks for hosting. My name is Wolfie. I'm with Kaspa Currency. I do business development, which in a real simple way means helping platforms like you guys, like exchanges, decentralized exchanges, wallets, and other type of things, payment systems, helping to integrate and to propagate the Kaspa currency as a method of trading and payment and other things on various types of platforms. So that's what I do.
Okay, great. That so I have read about your backgrounds as well. So I've said that I see that you started mining Bitcoin since 2011. So I have must say that you are one of the first verified pioneer in this industry, right? Industry.
Sure, yeah. Yep. Yeah. So in the old days, I started mining Bitcoin. It was really nothing at the time. It was only $7, and I heard about it playing the game World of Warcraft, and somebody told me it's like WoW Gold
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you can just send outside the game. It's just like it's just like this magic internet coin, and but you don't have to be playing the game to send it to someone. You can send it anywhere. And
Uh,
I thought it sounded interesting, so I started, and it was kind of fun. And then the difficulty went up, and then I was getting one Bitcoin every 5 days.
wow.
Yeah, and
Well, that's crazy.
it
Like
is.
I used to work with one of my boss, ex boss, and he was mining Bitcoin at that time, and it was like every day like we can get around maximum 30 Bitcoin just by mining by your computer, your laptop. That's a crazy number, and you know
It
that
is.
early bird always get the big worms. We come a little bit late. I'm envious with you guys.
Oh, yeah, but my story didn't. It wasn't one of those great stories that maybe your old boss was smart and he kept them for a while, hopefully, and he didn't lose them. But
Mm.
I lost 16 bitcoins, so it was only $7, and then when the difficulty went up, all of a sudden it was taking me 10 days to get half a bitcoin, and I go, you know what? This is stupid. I'm spending $5 on electric, and I'm only getting $3 worth of bitcoin. So this project it's just a fad and it's a gimmick and it's going to go out of style. So I shut it off. You know, I didn't know
Okay.
any better.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
So
is
everybody
incredible
makes
to know about
mistakes.
your. Yeah. This is incredible to know about your experience and knowledge and background as well in this cryptocurrency market. To be honest, it's rare to find someone with that thick experience as well. Okay, so let's
Thanks.
jump back to our journey today. So let me introduce a little bit about Hotbit as well to our community. So we all know that Hotbit Exchange is a premier global crypto trading platform with more than 2,000 trading pair in total and was ranked number one among all exchanges regarding the number of types of cryptocurrency like project listed. And so far, Hotbit has accumulated over 7 million registered users from more than 210 countries and area all over the world. So that is quite impressive number from our side. So what you got from your side? Just show us.
Yeah. So Caspa is unique project. I mean, there's sometimes I've heard figures up to 20,000 different projects and tokens and so forth. Caspa is really neat, and the simplest way I can describe it is when technology comes out, generally, in a lot of different categories, it first comes out with one at a time. Like, the first engine had just one cylinder, one spark plug, one piston, and that was a big deal. Then
Yeah.
after, 10 years or 20 years, sometime way over 100 years ago, somebody was like, hey, what if we have two? spark plugs and 2 cylinders, and we can make more power. And then they made a V8. They had 8 cylinders. Then they made a V12, and they had more. And so, and it's like this with a lot of things, like with internet, like a cable modem. It used to just have one channel, and then you could do like 1 megabyte. 1 megabit, was a big number, 1.5 meg, and that was big. Now the modems have 16 channels or 32 channels, and they could do a gigabit. They could do 1,000 times more than the first ones from 20 years ago. So Bitcoin, the granddaddy of all of them, it has one block at a time, and that happens on the average of every 10 minutes. Another Bitcoin block is mined, and the transactions go in the block, and they're locked in on the distributed ledger, and the whole world can see what happened in that block. And then over time, projects attempted to speed that up, and they go, yeah, what if we have a 30-second block time? Then we're going to be 20 times faster than Bitcoin, or no,
Yeah.
5, whatever. Yeah, 20 times faster, I guess. Yeah, 20 times faster. And that was a big deal. But when it gets to a certain, you can't get it too fast without losing security and having orphans. So this was
Yes.
a historic problem. Kaspa is unique in that instead of having one block at a time in a straight line, it's the first two-dimensional multi-block, parallel block, thing. So it's not a blockchain. It's actually called a block DAG, DAG. Some of your users may have heard of this term before. It's not a phrase that's unique to crypto. It's actually from computing and math. The term of a DAG is just it's a way of arranging a structure in kind of random, and it's mathematically proven, and it's just this other way of doing things. And so Kaspa is the first block DAG. So our blocks are arranged in this directed acyclic graph, which is a really neat looking structure. And they can happen, one block at a time. We can have 2 blocks. We can have 5 blocks. Right now, our maximum width of how many simultaneous blocks we can have is 18 at a time. So we have a 1 second block time, and we can have parallel blocks up to 18 simultaneous blocks. So they all interconnect, and this one knows about that one and that one and that one, and then this one knows about 2 of those ones and another one, and they all lace in, and they all strap in mathematically and cryptographically, and form this solid monolithic block structure that's two-dimensional. It has length, which is the time, and then it has height. It has a height to it where the blocks can happen at the same time, and you can see these 3 happen, then 4 happen, then just 1 happen, then 2 happen. So that's unique. It never happened before. And the other cool thing about it is that our founder and our core group, even though there's no core because we're decentralized, the main guys who created the technology, the multiple breakthrough technologies, they really loved Bitcoin, and they took from the Bitcoin playbook the exact startup and decentralization, and they also made sure that our block DAG, our protocol, which is actually called Ghost DAG, is it's a scalable generalization of Nakamoto consensus. What that means for regular people like us is that at equal hash rate to Bitcoin, we have a matching security, maybe even a teeny bit more. So we don't trade off security to have this fast block time. So it means if just as many computers were mining Kaspa as are mining Bitcoin, we'd be just as secure as the Bitcoin network.
Yeah, it is a security related. It's not a race, right? It's not about
Exactly.
this. Yeah, the speed is important to be honest, but security is more important, especially in this DAO trends. They're trying to hack everything, especially this with this block deck. You know that you have the dimensional parallel block, right?
Yep.
So I've known that a lot of people already acknowledge about blockchain. That is the like basic definitions that you want to enter the cryptocurrency like word, but with block deck, I believe that not much people have known and well known about what it is. So that's why the topic today we're gonna talk more about Caspa and the like revolutionary text behind the block deck as well. And
Sure.
yeah, I know that the Caspa coin has gained a lot of tractions and popularity in the crypto community. right? Congratulations one more times for that. And besides all the things that you have mentioned, the bow, so what else make you believe that Kaspa gonna stand out? What is the like killer feature of Kaspa that make you think is gonna stand out comparing to the other like blockchains or projects in the same sections?
Sure, that's a great question. So first off, let me tell you this important or interesting concept. Okay, so like if you think of a lot of projects, or and it doesn't only have to be crypto, but some projects they come out and they have something kind of neat, right? Something cool, uh,
Yeah.
but but it's kind of like a dead end. Like, okay, here's this cool thing. We're kind of new, and but like it's a dead end. It's never turning into anything else. You know, I almost equate it to like older type of assets, like a gold coin. Say you buy a gold coin for $2,000. Hey, this is neat. Well, it's old. The price can go up. Gold can go up in value by weight. So this thing maybe in 10 years or 5 years, this is going to be $3,000 instead of $2,000. But it's never going to turn into anything else. It's always going to just be this round piece of metal that's in your drawer, or in your safe.
That it
So
was that is just what they believed into. That's it.
yeah, yeah. So Kaspa, and some crypto projects are like that. Like if you have an NFT, a picture. Okay, it's cool. It's a famous artist. It's never really turning into anything else though. It's just going to be this picture that's pretty neat, and it's a little bit rare, but it's never going to do any other tricks that I'm aware
Yes.
of. Just as an example, Kaspa. So all of our fame, all of our spreading and adoption, and community growing and interest is all based on our initial release of technology, which has multiple breakthrough technologies in it. Just for one example, is the pruning mechanism. So any other blockchain that I'm aware of, like Bitcoin, if you want to have a real Bitcoin node and a full Bitcoin wallet, you download the wallet, you start it on a strong computer with good internet, and you let it run for five. I mean, the last time I did it with Bitcoin, it was, I don't know, 5 years ago, and it took 5 days to synchronize. So you have to download the
Yes.
first block. You have to download. The Bitcoin wallet starts with the block that Satoshi mined on his PC in 2009. Then you have to get the second block. You have to get the 100,000th block. You have to get the 200,000th block. You have to get them all just to be up to talking to the network and transacting. So Kaspa has a unique feature. It's called the pruning mechanism. So our wizards were able to come up with a method whereby when you start the Kaspa wallet, it doesn't need to get the first block. It doesn't need to get the 1,000th block. It doesn't need to get them all. It only needs to get the last 3 days of blocks. And then I think of it just like as a sponge. Like if you buy a nice new sponge and it's small, and then you put it in the water, then it puffs up and it becomes a sponge you can actually use, right? So what we do is we take the last 3 days of blocks, and through mathematics and cryptography and really difficult things, they came up with a way to just take those last 3 days of blocks plus the headers and then expand it back out and create a virtual complete history so that you can see all of your addresses and what you have left and what you can spend, and then you can transact on the blockchain. So syncing our wallet takes something in the order of, if you have a good internet and a nice modern computer that's 2 or 3 years old, it can take as little as 10 minutes. I've synced
Yes.
from scratch in 10 minutes. So that's really nice. So that's an example of right now features that we have. But where we're going is, like this is kind of a long explanation, but I was saying a lot of things come out and they're kind of like a dead end. Caspa is not a dead end. Caspa has already crowdfunded for a complete top to bottom rewriting of the whole software in a new programming language that's called Rust. So our original programming language is in Golang. That's a programming language that I think of it kind of like a modeling clay. Like, so supposing you have an idea like, hey, I'm going to make this sculpture and I have an idea. I want to get it into a museum because I think it's going to come out very nice. But first, I'm going to start with this rough clay that's not that pretty and it's not for a finished product. I'm just going to get the shape going and see if I got it down. So that's what we're in right now. We're in Golang for the last 16 months since we started our mainnet. Now,
Wow.
since August, we crowdfunded 100 million Kaspa coins last summer, and we put it in a multi-signature wallet for a developer fund. And our guys are rewriting it in Rust. Rust is a high-performance programming language. So now that we got the shape and everything works for a year and a half in the original modeling language, now we're rewriting it. It's almost done. It's like days till it's done, by the way. So we're rewriting it in a high performance programming language. And one of the great things that this will enable is a feature called parallelism. So how I think of parallelism is like, if you go to the store and there's only one cashier, and only
Yeah.
one person with a cash register, then the line builds up, and that's no good. Then all of a sudden, three more people, the manager says, we need more help at the front. And you have 4 lanes open or 8 lanes open. And then everybody can go to a different checkout. So what parallelism is it enables multi-cores in a single computer to process different blocks. Because remember, we have those parallel blocks. So right now, how it even works in our current version is there's only one checkout lane for validating blocks in consensus. Once parallelism is invoked with Rust programming language, then we'll enable simultaneous different threads and cores in the same computer to do different blocks. So that's going to enable our throughput to be raised drastically. So right now we have 1 block per second. The next stop will be probably 10 blocks per second. So we're going to get 10 times faster. And then the next stop after there will probably be in the order of 32 blocks per second. So what this all means for the end user is that there finally will be a cryptocurrency that has an internet-like experience. Like if you think about it, think about Netflix. Can you imagine if you go on Netflix and you find a show you want to watch, you start the show, and it takes 20 minutes for the show to start? That would be terrible,
Yeah.
right?
Just
You
to
know?
wait for your download to get confirmed, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Let me handle
exactly.
with the other orders. Yeah, I understand it.
Yeah,
So, the problems about like as you mentioned before, the problems about like parallelisms is I think that you guys should have like or have to have the bridge between the block. So, do you ever afraid of like the hack, like attack aiming to your bridge among this between the blocks because the bridge is just like a disadvantage for other blockchains as well. But we have to mention about the Ronin hack of Axie Infinity as well. They lost around $100 million. So what is your like solutions to fix these problems? It might be a weakness of your block deck as well.
sure. So, I'm not super familiar with some other protocols like the Axie Infinity that you mentioned, but I believe those might be like a proof of stake platform. So,
Yeah.
yeah, in that's I call them. I'm a little bit mean, but I call those like Netflix, like to mention Netflix again. So, meaning that's just a bunch of servers that they set up in data centers probably around the world, like AWS or something, and then they write the code, and those servers do the consensus. So that's something else, and we're nothing like that. When I mentioned that Kaspa is a generalization of Nakamoto consensus, it's exactly like Bitcoin. Like there is no hacking Bitcoin. In 20
Okay.
years, maybe some quantum computer can do some kind of trick or something. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But for the foreseeable future, nobody's hacking Bitcoin, and I would say nobody's hacking Caspa either. It's not. There's no attack surface. There's no area
Mhm.
to get us like that. It's not possible.
Wow, it's impressive to be honest. So,
Thanks.
as I heard before, you mentioned about your founders as well. So, beside your incredible background, can you please mention to our members about uh your founders' experience as well?
Sure. So I wouldn't say my background is really incredible. I'm mostly a bum, okay, compared to the guys that made up this coin. Yeah, I'm
That's the
just a
point.
yep. I'm just a guy in Southern California. I like cars and guitars and looking at the ocean. But these guys who came up with Caspa, we're talking about people not like in some projects. I've known other projects and with a lot of good guys There might be a
Mm-hmm.
project where a guy has experience with programming for 20 years, and then he found crypto and he started trying to type and make his own project. These guys are nothing like that. We're talking about people who have dedicated their entire lives to researching math, computer science, physics, and programming. So these guys are just spent their life since they were in pre kindergarten until still currently researching. Our founder is a fantastic gentleman. I think he's probably the most intelligent person I've ever met in my life in any category. Like, and I'm not making up stories here. He's incredible. He's currently researching at Harvard University now. It's funny. I'll see people that just heard a little bit, new community members that say, like, Jonathan, his name is Jonathan Sampolinsky, by the way. They'll say, Jonathan went to Harvard. And when I hear that, I picture like Jonathan with his backpack on, and he goes and he sits down in a lecture hall and he gets his notebook out, and some guy is teaching him, yeah, so here's how computer science works. You get a computer, and then you start typing in, if and or statements, and then you compile the program. And then he learned. So it's not that he didn't go to Harvard. Okay, he's researching at Harvard. He's in a group called the MEV Research Group, MEV, Maximum Extracted Value. So he's not learning. He's not going there to hear about something that somebody else already knows
Mm-hmm.
about. He's participating in discovering things that nobody on Earth know about yet. He's inventing it so that other people can learn it. Basically, is what's going on. So that guy is a crypto OG, original gangster, as people might call it. And I mean, he's so far back in crypto that in 2013, when Mr. Vitalik Buterin was on his quest to write a new revolutionary type of project, during his journeys through Israel, I believe, Vitalik came across Jonathan's paper. There's a paper called Ghost, and he read this paper that describes, some things, and that paper was used in the Ethereum white paper. It's in there. Anybody can go and Google Ethereum white paper and then search the term just Jonathan. It's like Jonathan with a Y, Yonaton, and you can see that. Hey, wow, Vitalik used some of the brain power of Jonathan Sampolinsky in creating
Oh,
the foundation and the framework of Ethereum, which is the number two coin in the whole world today. Furthermore, you can go on Google Scholar and you can put in the name Jonathan Sampolinsky, and you'll see that about 3,200 other white papers and research papers have cited his works. So they've said, like, hey, this smart guy discovered something and he wrote it down over here, this formula or this concept, and I'm going to base part of my project on that guy's thinking. So that's, I think there's at least maybe 24 of the top 100 coins have used part of some of the thought power of Jonathan's brain in establishing their own project. So that's pretty wild. That's some credibility. That's what you would call street cred. So he's been around, and people highly respect his thoughts and concepts that he comes out with.
yeah, actually, Hani already did the research for you guys. To be honest, before this AMA, I already like read some newspapers, like read some like articles about you guys, and everything about Kaspas is already transparent. You can see all the depth faces over there. I mean, they're not hiding anything, and apparently they literally look like an IT genius. To be honest, all of
They
them.
do,
That's
yeah.
why. That's why Goofy they describe them like that. No wonder, right?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah.
So, can you share with me why speed? Okay, we mentioned a lot about speed. Like other project is racing, like bragging around about their speed. Hey, I'm gonna be this fast, this fast. So, can you tell me why speed is so important in cryptocurrency?
Yes. So here's the thing. A lot of projects in the last couple of years have been pushing this narrative of TPS, transactions per second. We can do
Yeah.
480,000 transactions per second, right? All these transactions per second. So and what? But the point is that's kind of like a sales pitch, and it's misleading to me. What Kaspa really focuses on is blocks per second, because blocks per second
Mm-hmm.
will give you this fast confirmation time. And the analogy I always use to think of it and make a comparison is like if you think of the mail, think of like the post office in your country, and like I mean in America here, it's a pretty big country, so it's 3,000 miles to the other side. I'm in California. If I want to send mail to New York, do I
Mm-hmm.
care? Do I care if the U.S. mail can send a million letters a day? Can they send
No.
10 million letters a day? I don't
Yeah.
really care how many they can do, because when I put a letter in the mail in California, it takes 5 days to get to New York. So I don't care how many other letters they're carrying. I care about how long does it take. Now, 5 days isn't that great. If I really wanted to get there tomorrow, I have to pay FedEx like $80 for a letter to get the
Mm-hmm.
next day. So with us, we don't really care about like 480,000 transactions per second. It's like I don't care.
Exactly.
It's like how
Exactly.
long does it take? Do I still have to wait 3 minutes until the transaction happens? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so we like I said, we have a 1 second block time, and we could do 2 to 400 transactions in a block. So we could do 2 to 400 transactions per second right now. And once we increase our block speed to 10 blocks per second, that's going to be 10 times the 200. So that's 2,000 transactions per second, which is I've heard figures that Visa, even the giant credit card company that's global, they only do on average like maybe 1,700 transactions per second. Everybody in the world shopping with Visa cards is only 1,700 per second. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I've heard it multiple times on different things. So you don't, this idea of needing 100,000 transactions per second, it's kind of
It's not
just,
necessary. I
yeah,
I
yeah, I
agree.
don't think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
I
and
agree.
once we go to 32 blocks per second, you got 32 times 200, it's 6,400, up to maybe 9,000, more, a little more. We might get 300 transactions in a block. So we have thousands and thousands on the way of transactions per second. And it's going to be such a fast experience. Even when we're 10 blocks per second, that means I send you something, and in the blink of an eye, you have 10 confirmations. You're locked in. You can already send it to somebody else in 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's why like Kaspa is like to place focus on BPS rather than TPS, right? As your
Exactly.
explanations above. Yeah, because it's offering more scalable and secure, right? So
Yeah.
you are building like a BPS more because you guys like focus more on the stabilities of the block more than the speed. I can understand that.
Yeah.
So okay, that is enough of like technical knowledge. So
Sure.
let's get back to the community. Um, so I've heard that you have the community governance. So how does it work?
Sure. Yeah. So in general, there are some categories that we'll just vote on. So on a Discord channel, if there's some item that comes up and it seems like a good idea for a community vote, then we write the little proposal with a paragraph that talks about what we're talking about. We're going to vote on this or that, like raising funds for a marketing. We just did this a couple of weeks ago. Our fantastic marketing team, Bubblegum and Rhubarbarian, two guys that make the media, the graphics and the copy, the wording for new things that come out. So these guys decided to really put full time into Caspa with all of the development going on. They would like a teeny little wallet from the community to chip in so they could afford to pay attention all day every day. So we voted on that. We go, yeah, you know what, these guys have been making great graphics and doing great stuff for about a year now, and we want to continue that and help these guys out and say thank you for doing such a great job. So we're going to each chip in a little bit of money. So but first we voted on that to make sure everyone thought it was a good
Mm-hmm.
idea, and pretty much everyone did think it was a good idea. So then we took it to the next step of creating an address, and people from around the world put in a little bit of money each, and then we got a nice little pile for them, and those guys are stoked, and they can keep working really hard because we have a lot of exchanges and wallets. All kinds of things are recognizing the trend of Caspa becoming something interesting. So we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, marketing is like playing a crucial role in any kind of project because if you have good product but you don't have marketing, it's just like you have good stuff, but don't know who to sell it to, right? So,
Exactly.
uh, yeah. So the other project they using the governance tokens, right? To get the vote, to get the community idea, and whoever like holding more governance tokens, so their vote going to be more value. So why you not doing it that way? Why you like choose to ask straightly to the community and let them do the vote?
Sure. So, first of all, we don't have smart contracts yet or any token capabilities at the moment. So we're just a plain coin, just like Litecoin or Bitcoin or something. So we don't have the capability like on our own network to do anything like you're mentioning. And then second
Mm-hmm.
of all, these are nice. These are nice concepts and everything, but in just me personally, in a weird way, like um, we vote with money by crowdfunding stuff, like the developer stuff. You can, if you think it's a good idea, you can put in enough money, and if enough people think it's a good idea, then it can happen and it gets funded. But voting with tokens and having weight based on your stake, like that's a little bit like kind of like the rich get to pick or whatever. So in a weird way, that's not that fair. So um,
Exactly.
yeah, so we don't have an exact plan or anything to implement anything like that any near time soon. Generally speaking, like I mentioned, we'll have a vote if there's something that we think the community should decide on, and then it comes to stage two. If it's a crowd fund for development or marketing or something, then people vote with their money. If you have a lot and you think it's a good idea and it's going to help the rest of your pile, you put in a little bit and you hope it's a good idea, and then the rest of what you didn't give away increases in value over time. So
Yeah, that is the way to stay closest with your member, to be honest. Because other community people have been asking like, "Hey, is this group for elite member?" Because if I don't know that much token, so my voice is like being ignored
sure,
here. Isn't? Yeah, that is what happened, to be honest. So
yeah.
yeah, so the next question is, what is the work for Kaspa, and can you please give some details about the development and your future roadmap as well? Because our member really want to hear that, to see what is your plans for your new futures.
Sure. So I told you half the story already when I mentioned the Rust rewrite. And that one's almost done. We're going
Yep.
to have a release version probably within days now. So that was our first major new thing that's coming out. The next, and that comes with the block speed increases. So those will be incremental upgrades or updates to the system, to the network within the next several months. So that's one really exciting thing. Another really exciting thing is there was a second development, thing that became apparent. The possibility of this thing called DagKnight. I don't know if you saw that name or heard anything about that. So it's just like our
Uh,
block DAG, DAG. This is a protocol called DAG Knight, like KNIGHT, like the old
okay.
school guys with the swords and the armor. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So DagKnight was another developer crowdfund, and what we raised was the request was 70 million coins. That was last summer, also, I believe, maybe into the fall here, last fall. And this, I mentioned Jonathan Sompolinski already. Now, that doesn't mean that our other guys, I've said we have multiple people who have devoted their life to research. We also have Michael Sutton. He's,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have any titles, but he would be the lead developer pretty much. Then we
Mm-hmm.
have another fantastic guy named Ori, and Ori's like co-lead developer. He's amazing. Then we have Shai Wyborski. Shai's our resident cryptographer. So he's a PhD student for cryptography, classical and something quantum cryptography. Like I don't even know what one of them is, and he's an expert on both. Like I have no idea. But anyway, that's the type of people we're talking about, and we have lots of other great guys too. But so um, Michael Sutton came up with this concept of a parameterless protocol. Okay, and so it's very complicated from what I understand. But in my cat, I'm not really a cat, obviously, but my picture is a cat. So in my cat brain, how I picture it is like uh, right now, like Bitcoin and all the coins, even Casper right now, they have this assumed, this just in case waiting time, like a timeout. We got to hang out for a couple minutes or at least several seconds. Like even for Casper right now, it's 18 seconds. It's this
Mm-hmm.
built-in software timeout thing. The easiest way I can comprehend it is like if you remember when the virus first came out, coronavirus, and it was is really bad, and if you flew to another country, you had to go in quarantine and just sit in a hotel for a week, just in case you were
Yep.
sick, right? It doesn't matter if you're really sick or not. You just have to, just in case you're sick, you know? So that's what all the projects in the whole world have right now, this just in case thing. And what it's on the lookout for, just in case the network, all of the nodes around the world are having
Mm-hmm.
this, just in case there's some internet problem or some weird thing that's making them not find out about the next blocks that just came out, we're just going to
Mm-hmm.
wait, this long time just in case, right? So Michael Sutton had this idea, what if we didn't wait just in case? What if we
Wow.
what if we assume that there is no problem and everybody hears about it right away? And then we build a sensing mechanism where we monitor the network and we look for delays. And then if we begin to sense delays in some problem, like with internet or some problem somewhere in some part of the world or something, then we start to scale in a little bit of a wait. And then if the problem gets worse, we can put a little bit more temporary waiting time. And then when the problem
Mm-hmm.
goes away, we remove the waiting time again. So that's what DagKnight is. And nobody else ever thought anything like this. And just
Yes.
to give you an idea how complicated it is. Okay, he thought of the idea 3 years ago, and it was said to be like in the research papers in the world of computer science, in what they call an
Uh-huh.
impossibility. Like they said, it's
Okay.
impossible. Okay, so all the smartest people in the world that thought about it said it's impossible to do this, but he thought maybe it's not impossible. And then they got almost all the way there. He thought about it, wrote down, formulas and stuff on paper for 2.5 years, thinking about how they can do it. They got almost the whole thing together. There was one piece of the puzzle missing, and he went over it and over and over it, and he almost had he had to pause and stop because his brain was racing, and he was thinking, I'm spending more and more time on this, and it may actually be an impossibility. Maybe they were right. So he had to stop and then focus on something else, which happened to be Rust programming language for a couple months. And then all of a sudden, one day, out of the universe, the answer came, and he
The
figured it out.
universe.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they got it, and they proved it on paper that it's possible. So, um, you know, in a nutshell, they say that they're confident that it's pretty much the largest breakthrough advance in distributed computing and distributed systems since 2008 when Bitcoin came out. Which that's a
Wow.
pretty big statement. And let me just tell you one other thing. So when you're talking, when you think about projects like you mentioned Axie, I'm not familiar with them, but the type of crypto project that's started by a company like a VC company, or they start a company and
Mm-hmm.
it's a corporation. You have to think, what's the motive when they said let's start a project, let's start a chain. What's their motive? Did they go, let's figure out how to make money off of people in the crypto world?
That
Let's
is the
figure out.
motive. That is
Yeah,
the
yeah,
motive for that.
right. Let's figure out how we can make it sound cool and attract people to buy it. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what they start off as. My guys are not like that. That's not what they started out to do. They started out to make breakthrough technology that revolutionizes the space, and that's what they did. So
Yeah, I can say they put all their heart and mind to this, to be honest.
exactly. When these guys are saying this is not a CEO of whatever as some project, it's not a CEO saying it's the most significant development in distributed computing since 2008. This is a guy who's factually stating that can see the whole crypto space and the programming behind it better than anybody that I've ever met in my life. Telling you, when he says it, he's not saying it so you buy the token and get the T-shirt. He's saying it because it's factual. It's like it's a big deal, and we accomplished it. So that's
Yeah.
coming from guys like that. I would tend to believe him.
I think that is the brilliant, incredible team that you got with you. To be honest, when you're like staying among all that
Sure.
passionate people, yeah, you will have the motive from them as well. To be honest, and you have the
Yeah.
chance to learn a lot from them and moving forward together. Okay, brilliant. I believe that my members still have a lot of questions waiting for you due
Sure.
to your incredible story that you have told us. So let's move to the next part that all our members are waiting for is our community Q&A part. Um, let's see. Do you want to start? Do you want to start to pick the first one?
Um, I don't know where the questions are coming from. Maybe you could pick whatever you want because I'm just pacing around in my office with my headset on. I
Okay.
can't see anything. Yeah, so I'm not looking. So yeah, you pick what you think is relevant. It's your house. You get to pick. It's your nightclub.
You're my guest. You come first.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Let me see who's to choose. I see a really cute young point over here, but let's choose. Let's see. Crypto boss. Hi. Hi, boss.
Usually it takes a second for them to lock in and activate.
Yeah, to connect.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Loud and clear.
Thanks for giving me the chance. I want to know that the most of the project want to apply in their project AI facilities. What have you done, or what measures do you want to take for the AI technology in your project?
sure. So I actually don't really know anything about AI. I have not heard um, of any concept towards integration or implementing anything to do with AI. However, I can simply state that if there is some use case or something comes to light and some outside entity is looking for a fast and secure um, distributed ledger technology system that we would certainly be something they could choose and we would help them build on there. So that's as concise as I can get right now. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Thank you.
anything else you want to ask him? Okay, thank
Thank you
you
so
so
much.
much. Okay. The other lucky number is Leo. We have a we have a lion over here, Leo. Let me unmute
Okay.
him. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So my question is, what marketing strategies do you have planned to increase the validity of your Kaspa?
Okay, another question is about marketing.
Yes, yes.
Um, I didn't exactly understand it. I apologize. Can you
Can I repeat the question
Honey? Did
again?
you? Yes.
So my question is, wait just a minute.
Okay.
What marketing strategies do you have planned to increase the validity of your Kaspa?
Uh, Honey, did you understand?
Marketing,
Yeah,
marketing strategies.
probably.
Marketing strategy.
Yeah, he was asking about marketing
Yes,
strategy
yes, yes.
for
Oh,
you. You
sure.
planning to have any? Yeah.
Yes. So, great question. I apologize. I couldn't hear so good. Anyway, yeah. So, being a decentralized and community driven coin, we don't really have really an exact marketing budget. I'm approached on a daily basis by influencers and upvoting services, and they want to make us trend on this and that. But we're very fortunate in since we're an actual project and we actually have multiple breakthrough technologies and we're gaining a lot of organic momentum. We don't need to pay. Like I mean, just yesterday, It's to the moon. Carl, a guy on Twitter with 1.3 million subscribers, said, "Should I buy Kaspa?" You know, and then we have guys on YouTube with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of
That is the huge kick
subscribers.
for you.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yay.
mean, there's people all over town. I mean, 2 days ago, I was scrolling through my Twitter feed, and there's people I never heard of talking about Caspa. And then I click, like, who's this guy? He must be a nobody. Oh,
Okay.
42,000 followers. Wow, I never heard of him, but a lot of other people did. So yeah, we don't need to pay for it because we're something new, and that's how it really
Mm.
should be. You know, if you have to pay, then you're paying to get your voice heard of a story about why your token is different than all the other tokens that are made out of thin air. But in reality, we're not in that category. We're really something new. So it's word of mouth, and it's growing organically and going viral.
Thank you for my answer my question.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate your participation.
Okay.
Most welcome.
Actually, paying to marketing is a like kind of old style way that other projects want to get famous real fast, and they're gonna dump tokens, and then that's it. That is the dead
Yeah.
end. Like, another dead end, like you mentioned before, right? So
Yep.
it's like building your reputations is the most stable way for all the projects. Like, if the big KOLs have heard about you, it's gonna be great. But if not, let the community do their job, earning their credibilities, and let them stress about your name. That's it. And that is
Sure.
the good way. Also, that is a like kind of strategic way for you guys in these downtrends as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Another side story that I want to tell you that I used to work for a cryptocurrency project before, and the co-founder
Uh huh.
got yeah, somehow she shilled the project to CJ Binance. So
Sure.
the project got followed by
Mm-hmm.
CJ account on Twitter, and just around 3 hours later, the token of that project pumps around 50 times more.
Wow.
So yeah, you can directly shield it to the biggest KOL, and somehow, like, if you're lucky, or if the project is like interesting enough, for sure you wanna get their attentions, and that's a
Sure.
hint for you. That hint for you. Maybe that's gonna work with you guys. To be honest, just like spreading your name and sharing with them, and if you guys can get a like or a follow from them, it's gonna be a huge, a life changing chances for all the
It's
startups to.
true.
Yeah. So, okay, let's move on to the last lucky member of the Twitter meetings today.
Sure.
You want to choose the last one?
I like I said, I'm just pacing around my office, so I'm not looking at the screen or the chat. So yeah, you can want you've
Okay,
been doing
okay.
good. You pick some nice questions. Let's see what you get. I'll let you spin the wheel.
Okay, NYC. Let's see. I trying to choose an European here. NYC. Look at his avatar.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me? Oh,
Hey,
Hi.
hey.
Oh, loud and
yeah, hey
clear.
there.
All right. Hey, first of all, let me start with this. This is the best AMA I have listened in the last 10 years. Beautiful. As
Wow.
far yes, and I've been in crypto for a long time. Um, and my question is to the DagKnight. Uh, I when you explain it, like you just open up this window of the future, and it's like I grab something. How soon,
Wow.
or yeah, this is talking about like the next screw Web3. This is like Web 16. But my question is, how long before, let's say a year, 5 years, the DagKnight is actual thing?
Yeah. So so our main guys are wrapping up on the Rust implementation right now. The first one that we funded that I was mentioning, and then shortly thereafter, like I would say in the next month or two, if they haven't already started, at least on the side, started to begin work on it, they're going to start. And they gave us a beginning window of, I think, 7 to 9 months for them to make it become an actuality in programming lines of code. So if they start now, I would say 9 months to a year would be a pretty, to not get over enthusiastic and be waiting and waiting and looking at the calendar. I would say we'll have some really good news by the end of the year, or maybe even like the end of the summer, that they're making progress, and then another 3 to 6 months after the end of the summer, and I think we would have some type of test net or something going, solid. So it shouldn't be much more than a year overall. Maybe a teeny bit more if they run into a few difficulties, but I've never seen anything where they can't figure it out. It didn't happen yet, so I don't think this is going to be any different.
Well, thank you. I'm really excited. The best way to describe is like I'm biting my nails for it. It's exciting. This is a
Sure.
excellent project. Thank you so much. Bye.
Well, sure. Thanks a lot. Great question. Take care now.
Thank you a lot. Thanks everybody to join, come and put us questions today. If anybody still have questions for Mr. Wolfie here, please don't hesitate to go visit their Telegram, Twitter, put questions over it there directly, and you're gonna got your answer instantly. To be honest, you don't have to wait over here like this. So
Sure.
please have visit their website, Telegram, Twitter, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. Okay, so thank you so much. Time flies. We have finished all three questions from our beloved community, and I hope that the answer from Mr. Wolfies has untied all your knots, guy. And another little reminder for all of the winner today that you should send a private message to our Twitter page. This Twitter page, Hotbit update. So our admin will check and send your rewards later during 15
Great.
days business times. Okay, so thank you once again. Thank you so much, Kaspa team, for your honor sharing with us, your enthusiastic sharing with us today. Like I mean, that you hide no detail. Everything is so clear and clarified with us, and it was a pleasure having you to share your detailed information of Kaspa and as well as some key product and future roadmap with you guys. Once again, Honey, sincerely thanks Mr. Wolfie for you for standing time with us, spending time with our community. And I wish you a lot of health, happiness, and I wish Caspa a great, great success in the near future. And I believe it's not going to take too long. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Thank you.
Wolfie, anything else you want to share with our community today?
Sure. Well, I just want to say thank you, honey. You're a fantastic hostess, very well spoken and fluid and bright, and you obviously understand the overall crypto space, and you asked very nice questions that I'm sure answered that people may have had in their mind, and or especially if they just heard about Caspa recently because of listing on your platform, and they're your customers, and they came here to learn what's this new thing all about. And now I think they're going to have a pretty good idea what it's about. So thanks for doing that. You did a great job.
Thank you so much for really, really well like cooperate with me today. To be honest, I sometimes I might have like some off script questions, but I'm glad that you answered it all well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, and that's about it. Yeah, we appreciate
Yeah.
everybody. Everybody, you guys listing us. We appreciate the community growing, and we hope people feel safe and cozy when they decide to participate and become a member of the Caspa family. We have great groups from around the world. We have so many countries that have their own group and their own language, and the funny thing is, even though it's a different language, they all we have a common goal, and we're on a common path together. Even countries
Uh,
that you see in the news, this country's fighting that country, and then but in Caspa, nobody's fighting anybody. Everybody's on the same page. So it's great.
Yeah. So everybody, please don't hesitate. Come straight ahead and spamming Casper Telegram, Twitter with your questions. Just come there. This is incredible, like a project that we introduced to you guys today. Thank you so much. And I guess that we can call it a day here. Thank you so much for spending time with us again one more time, and congratulations for our success AMA today. Thank
Yeah,
you so much. Thank you, and I hope to see you again in the near future.
it's
Thank
a
you.
deal. Hey, thanks, honey. Take care. Have a great day
Thank
now.
you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.